In this video, we're gonna do some wildlife photo editing. It's been a while since I did some new photo edit. So today we're gonna do this photo and it's gonna turn into this one. So if you want to follow along, check the link in the description. You can download the photo there and you can follow the same steps to get the same result, or you can use your own photo if you want to. So let's get into it. So let's start with editing this photo. First of all, what I would like to do here is I would like to work on the lighting to create some more of a mysterious lighting. So what I would do is I would add a curves first, just to make this slightly darker like that. And then I will just simply move one part away. Let's make sure the flow is at 100. And this side, I want to have like the lighting is coming from that side, just a little bit like that. Let's also make the eye lighter so we can still see those eyes. And also like the little bit of the left part of its face, like there's lighting coming from there inside this tree. Maybe just a little bit like that to make it look more real. You can also do a little bit like there, like there's also lighting hitting there. Basically just using your imagination here. I think this is enough. Now, the next thing what I would like to do is I'm going to create a new layer and I will fill this with a 50% gray layer and I'm going to brush some parts even lighter. So let's use a dodge tool here. Let's make these eyes even lighter like that, so we can really have those glowing eyes. Also a little bit more on the left side of its face, and also these here, just like that. And probably also this part of the tree, make it slightly lighter, like we have some light reflections coming on those parts. Just like that. Maybe a bit there. And this will give some nice areas which are lighter. So we have some areas which are pretty light and some areas are darker. Let's now make a new layer. And this time I'm going to fill it again. And now I will make some areas a little bit darker because I feel like it's a bit grayish here. I want to make it more like dark black. And we can easily do this with a burn tool like that. Let's make sure these areas are pretty dark. And this area also. Just like that. And I think this is gonna look pretty cool when I'm done with everything. Now the next step, what I would like to do here is I would like to drop some of these colors. Let's make sure this area is also dark. I would like to drop some colors, so I'm gonna add the hue and saturation and I'm gonna drop this. Because we made this pretty dark, so I wanna remove some of these colors, just like that, maybe a little bit more. Let's now create a new layer and I'm gonna create a light effect. So I can basically just use a normal brush for this, just like that. And when I make this big, I can put it there. And this will be my light source, like the sunset or something like that, maybe even a spotlight, but I think we have a photo of the nature, so it's probably should be a sunset that is coming inside this frame like that. Maybe even more like a light beam. So if you hold down Control, you can stretch out these corners and then you can make this sort of a light beam like that. You can make it really thin like that, but then it doesn't look real anymore. So let's try to make it look real. Probably coming from the top a bit, not from the bottom like that. And when I duplicate this with Ctrl J, I can move this around. I can place another one, but I want to change this. So I'm going to press Ctrl U and change the color of this one. So I'm going to make a little bit of these warm tones, a bit like that. And when I change this to overlay, for instance, you can see here, I can place this nice warm lighting. Let's stretch it out because I want to place it all over the place like that. Just a little bit of these warm tones. You can duplicate this if you want even more. And then I will drop the opacity here just to blend this better. You can see at the bottom it's a bit too orangey. Still want to make it look more real like that. Let's duplicate this. And that's already enough. Let's do one more. And if you're going to place one on the other side, on the right side here, if you press Ctrl I, it's going to invert the color. So here you can place a little bit more of the blue tones. So then we have the inverted color tones, if that makes sense, just to make it look more interesting. Let's try to increase this one. Let's see. It's gonna get too bluish. I want to have a little bit of blue tones in the darker spots, like that. All right, let's now add a gradient. And with the gradient, I'm gonna put it in radial, and let's make sure we have a color like the tree, but slightly darker, like that. And then copy this, move it there. And let's make sure it's a little bit bigger. So basically this is some sort of a vignette that I want to have, but I'm gonna move it to the left because with lighting is coming from the left side, like that. And then let's select soft light, and I can see we get this warm kind of effect with a little bit darker edges. Maybe it's a bit too dark. Let's see. I think it's fine. All right, let's now do some adjustments in Camera Raw. So I'm basically putting the whole edit in a new layer with Command Alt Shift E. And let's make a smart object. And then I'm gonna go to Filter, Camera Raw filter. And here I can do some adjustments to this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the exposure so it looks a little bit more real. I think the lighting is a bit too much. And I'm gonna increase the contrast. I think we have some nice black tones then. Let's play with the highlights. I can increase this a bit. And the shadows, I'm gonna make them slightly lighter so you can still see a little bit of the top part here. You can see it really fades away in the black. But with this one a little bit up, we can still see that part. Let's increase the lights here, the whites. And this one, I think this looks pretty nice. Let's not touch that one. I'm gonna move down to texture. When I drop this and increase this, I can get this soft effect, but I still want to see the details here, so I want to find a nice range. I think this looks fine. Let's now move down to highlights here. Here we can play with the highlights again. And let's increase the darks here. Let's see if we can make this color look like that. I think this looks nice. All right, let's not touch it anymore. You can play around with this for a long time. And when you edit this too much, you just don't see what's good and bad anymore. So let's not do it too much. I think something like this. This also looks nice. Let's do this. I think I like these color tones. All right, let's save this. And oh, one more thing. I'm gonna add a color balance because I wanna balance the colors a bit better. Let's add some red to this. I think it looks really good with those red tones. Just a slight touch of blue. And that's how fast you can create a wildlife photo edit. If you want to learn more about wildlife photo editing, I have 2 courses to learn wildlife photo editing so you can take your wildlife photos to the next level. Check them out. It's in the description of the video. There's also a discount to my courses. So thanks for watching this video and catch you on the next one.